The village of Greenfield sat nestled between rolling meadows and winding streams, a place where time seemed to slow down. Farmers woke with the rising sun, children ran barefoot through the fields, and the simple joys of life carried the community forward. Among the villagers was a man named Harish, the milkman, whose cows were known to give the richest milk in the entire region. Every morning before dawn, Harish would clank his brass pots together, fill them with fresh milk, and deliver them to households across the village. Mothers depended on him to make butter and cheese, children waited eagerly for warm milk before school, and innkeepers used his supply for their morning guests. On the surface, Harish seemed reliable and hardworking, a man the whole village trusted. But behind the friendly greetings and cheerful smile hid a secret he had carefully guarded for months. Harish had grown restless with the little money he earned. Though his cows gave him enough to live comfortably, his heart itched for more. He wanted a larger house by the river, finer clothes to wear at festivals, and golden ornaments like the wealthy traders who passed through town. "Why should I work so hard when I can be clever?" he often muttered to himself, his eyes narrowing as he poured water from a nearby well into his milk pots. At first, he only added a little, just enough to stretch his supply and earn a few extra coins. No one seemed to notice, and Harish felt a thrill each time he pocketed the extra money. His greed grew quickly, like a fire feeding on dry wood. The milk that once carried a sweet creaminess began to taste thin, but he excused himself by thinking, "They won't complain, they need me. Who else will bring milk every day?" One chilly autumn morning, Harish set out on his usual route. His cart creaked under the weight of brass containers, but only half of them truly carried milk, the rest sloshed with water mixed in. He knocked on the door of old Mrs. Peters, a widow who lived alone at the edge of the village. She smiled warmly at him, her wrinkled hands trembling slightly as she passed him her last few coins. "This milk keeps me strong, Harish," she said softly. "It's all I can afford." For a fleeting moment, guilt pricked at his conscience. But he brushed it aside and continued his route, convincing himself that business was business. By mid-morning, he had finished his deliveries and jingled the coins in his pocket, satisfied with his growing profit. Yet life, unpredictable as it is, soon wove an unexpected twist into Harish's days. One evening, as the village prepared for its annual harvest festival, Harish noticed a commotion near the town square. A group of villagers had gathered, their faces filled with concern. A small boy lay weak on the ground, coughing violently, his mother clutching him and pleading for help. The boy's name was Arjun, known for his laughter and endless questions, and he had been drinking milk every day from Harish's pots. The village healer examined him and shook his head. "He is frail and undernourished," the healer said gravely. "He needs real strength from proper food and milk, not water that offers nothing." His words echoed loudly in Harish's ears, and he felt his chest tighten. A hush fell over the crowd. Whispers spread like wildfire. "Who has been giving him weak milk?" one man muttered. Another added, "The boy's mother always bought from Harish." Dozens of eyes turned toward him, suspicion darkening their gaze. Harish's throat went dry. He forced a laugh and waved his hands. "Nonsense. My cows give the finest milk. Perhaps the boy has been ill for some other reason." But deep inside, his heart thudded with shame. That night, unable to sleep, Harish paced his room. His thoughts wrestled with guilt and fear. For the first time, he saw the true weight of his greed, not in the golden ornaments he craved, but in the frail body of a little boy who had trusted him. Days passed, and Arjun's condition worsened. The healer insisted he needed strong nourishment immediately, but his mother could no longer afford fresh milk. Word spread to the wealthier families, but they hesitated, busy with their own preparations for the festival. Harish, torn apart by his conscience, visited the boy secretly. He stood at the doorway, the smell of herbs and smoke filling the room, and watched Arjun struggle to breathe. The boy's mother looked up, her eyes hollow with exhaustion. "You've come," she whispered, not with anger, but with weary hope. "Do you have milk? Real milk? My son needs it." For the first time, Harish could not lie. His voice cracked as he admitted, "Yes, I do. And it will cost you nothing." From that day forward, Harish began delivering fresh, untainted milk to Arjun's family. He took it upon himself to provide food, broth, and even medicine from the healer. Each time he left their home, he felt a little lighter, as if he were unburdening himself from months of greed. Slowly, Arjun regained his strength. His cheeks filled with color, his laughter returned, and the village once again heard the sound of his playful questions. But Harish's journey of change did not stop there. The festival arrived, and the villagers gathered in the square, music and laughter filling the air. Children danced, merchants displayed their wares, and elders told stories by the fire. Harish stood quietly in a corner, uncertain if he belonged among them anymore. His guilt still weighed heavily, but his heart longed for redemption. Then came a moment that would shift everything. The village elder, a wise man with silver hair and a commanding presence, called for silence. He announced, "This year, we honor those who serve our community selflessly. Let us recognize not only the farmers who tilled the land and the mothers who nurtured their families, but also those who chose kindness when it mattered most." To Harish's astonishment, the elder turned his gaze toward him. Harish, the milkman, gave freely of his goods and care to save young Arjun's life. "For this, we thank him." Gasps and murmurs rippled through the crowd. Some still doubted, recalling their suspicions of his watered milk, but Arjun himself ran forward, his small arms wrapping around Harish's waist. "He helped me get better," the boy declared proudly. Harish's eyes filled with tears. In that moment, he realized no amount of gold or fine clothing could match the warmth of a child's embrace or the gratitude of a community. From then on, Harish changed his ways completely. His milk remained pure, and though his profits were smaller, his heart grew larger. The villagers once again welcomed him, not because of his clever tricks, but because of his sincerity. The simple clank of his brass pots every morning now carried a different sound, one of trust, compassion, and redemption. The story of Harish, the greedy milkman who found his humanity, spread far beyond Greenfield. Travelers carried it to neighboring towns, and soon, he became a living example of how even the most flawed soul could choose a better path when guided by kindness. And so, in a village surrounded by meadows and streams, life went on, simpler, warmer, and richer than before.